Hello everyone, let's take a look at exercise 17. The table below has data on 5 passenger airports in the Netherlands, and then we have overview of the airports here: Schiphol, Eindhoven, Rotterdam, Maastricht and Groningen Airport. And then we have the number of passengers in 2015 and the number of passengers in 2016. It's quite straightforward, I think. A. What was the percentage increase in the number of passengers at Eindhoven Airport? Okay, so Eindhoven Airport. What you could do is take a look. That means we're interested in those two values, right? And because we're talking about a percentage increase, I think we can calculate this using new minus old divided by old times 100%, right? So you take new minus old, and then divide it by old, times 100%. And this you can of course punch into your calculator. If you do that, let's quickly check. I get approximately, and remember percentage is always round to one decimal point, 9.3%. And if you want to, you would say increased, and you immediately have the complete answer. Okay, so that's that economic formula: new minus old divided by old times 100%. And B, we're going to do almost exactly the same, only this time we're interested in a different airport, Maastricht-Aachen. And instead of an increase, we have a decrease. The book prefers still using new minus old over old. In this case, then new is lower than old, because we're talking about decrease. Over. And old was 195,180 times 100%. And because one is bigger than the other, that old is now bigger than the other, you will get a negative number here. That's totally okay, because that negative number will indicate that we have actual decrease, and the actual decrease here is approximately 9.5%. But now I want you to conclude, so 9.5% decrease. Please do make this conclusion at the end, that minus 9.5 means a decrease. Don't just leave it at minus 9.5% as your final answer. Okay? Let's see, I think we can do C here as well. What percentage of passengers traveled via Schiphol Airport in 2016? Yeah, you hear me sighing a bit, because what you have to do first is, we are interested in 2016, so of course I am interested in this thing, but I want that as part over total, and the total here is not given yet, because for the total what I have to do is add all those things up first, and that's why I was sighing, because that's quite a lot of work. So what you start with here is by writing down 63,526,363 plus 4,736,205 plus 1,683,863 plus 176,562 plus 152,451. You punch that into your calculator. Please be careful that you copy it correctly. It should give you something to the likes of, let's see, 70,275,444. This is the total amount of passengers in 2016. What percentage of passengers traveled via Schiphol? That means that I now take the amount of Schiphol. You can see in the table which one it is. I remembered that as being the first one here. That's the part. Divide that by the total, what we just calculated. And then do that times 100% because we want a percentage based answer. That means again rounding to one decimal place. And you will see that the percentage here is quite high because you see that just a lot of the total amount of flights in the Netherlands go via Schiphol. The amount here is approximately 90.4%. Okay, so that's for C. And then at D. In 2016, Groningen Airport Eelde has fewer passengers than Maastricht-Aachen Airport. What percentage fewer? Okay, so we take a look at 2016. It's important to do that. Groningen Airport, that's this one, and Maastricht-Aachen Airport, the two lowest ones. Take a good look how this sentence here is formulated, because that's going to impact if this is going to be E minus B over B times 100% or B minus A over A times 100%. And it has to do with how the sentence here is given. They compare Groningen Airport with Maastricht-Aachen. If it's compared with Maastricht-Aachen, that means the last one here is the B. That's the one here that's at the end. So that means I take, and it looks a lot like new minus old over old, right? So we take Groningen Airport, 152,451, minus Maastricht, 176,562. Then do it over 176,562 times 100%. And it should give you a negative answer because I already see that the numerator is going to be negative. Here you find minus 13.7% rounded. So 13.7% less is the answer. It's all decrease here, right? Decrease means that you're comparing one thing over time. Here we're comparing two things with each other. So you could say that Groningen Airport Eelde has 13.7% less passengers than Maastricht-Aachen Airport. Okay? Then E. Calculate the absolute and relative increase of the total number of passengers. Oh boy. Okay, well, luckily we already did part of this at C because we already added up all the passengers in 2016. Let's take a look. That was 70,275,444. Okay, well, I can at least copy that again here. So we already have that one. It was 70,275,444. But we still have to do it for 2015. So for 2015, I will get 58,245,291 plus. In the meantime, you punch this into your calculator as well, otherwise you have to listen to me rattling up a string of numbers. Not the most amusing part of the video, I think, but alas it is needed. 879 equals, now put this into your calculator, and I think it's going to give me a smaller amount here. Yeah, because it also gives you increase already. It's 64,645,414. Okay, so this is 2016 and this is 2015. Absolute increase is just increase or decrease in amount. So the absolute increase here is equal to 70,275,444 minus 64,645,414, which will give me 5,630,030. That's absolute. Absolute is in units. Here I could say the unit is passengers, right? Well, for relative increase, relative increase is a difficult way of saying percentage increase. Relative as in you're comparing something to something else. What you take is you take new minus old divided by old. What means you could have just copy paste this, because what you see is that the absolute increase is actually in the numerator, but I copied it again, blame me, times 100%. Right, new minus old over old, which gives me approximately 5,620,000 times 100% is approximately 8.7% increase. Okay, so that's quite some percentage-based calculation that we have taken a look at here. Know how to distinguish them, please, because you will see in the upcoming exercises and theories that we're going to introduce you to quite a few extra, and then it's also important to know when to use which one. Okay, good luck.